Hey, Peter from Fringe Sport here again, and what we're going to be talking about today is the OneFitWonder Sandbag. So, what we've got here is a OneFitWonder Sandbag. Now, what makes the OneFitWonder Sandbag a little bit different than some other sandbags you might find out there? And it really all comes down to the value for the price. There are a lot of really great sandbags out there. There are a lot of very expensive sandbags out there, but there are not very many great sandbags that are also at a really great, nice, aggressive price, except for, boom, OneFitWonder. So, sandbag is really pretty basic. It's a Cordura or canvas shell that's typically reinforced that you pour sand or gravel or wood pellets or rubber mulch or something like that in there to create a big bag of suck. Because sandbags really suck if you're using them right. So, with the OneFitWonder Sandbag, we've got that very durable Cordura that's reinforced with strapping at several key places. We've got handles on each end, plus some clean handles in the middle. Call them clean handles because you can use them to clean. The other key feature of the OneFitWonder Sandbag is that we've got a shell that's got Velcro around a zipper. Now, note this, I don't know if you can see this real well on the video, but this is a YKK zipper. YKK is a Japanese company. If you look down at the zipper on your fly, it probably also says YKK. Why is this? Because the zipper is a common point of failure for both sandbags and jean zippers. So YKK is the best zipper company in the world, and that's what we've used in the OneFitWonder Sandbag. So let's unzip this YKK zipper, look inside. What we've got in this particular sandbag is a few OneFitWonder Sandbag fillers. Now, we've got a sandbag shell, and then we've got 3 fillers in here. What's the point of a filler? The main point of a sandbag filler is to allow you to easily adjust the weight of your sandbag. So if you're like me and you've got an awesome garage gym at home and you train with your wife, you're probably going to be pushing around a little more weight than is going to be good for her to push around doing some of the similar training movements. So if that's the case, you just pull out a sandbag filler, zip the sandbag back up, and then your wife, your kid, something like that, a less trained individual, can use the same sandbag shell, the same sandbag system, without having to buy a whole new one. And then boom, when they're done, you just throw the sandbag filler right back in and you're ready to rock and roll. However, even though I'm showing you a OneFitWonder Sandbag shell with the fillers, I personally don't like to use the fillers in my personal sandbags at my house. The reason for that is the sandbag shells are actually pretty inexpensive, and so you can just buy multiple and then fill them to different weights. Additionally, I like a certain feel in my sandbags, and so I use a mixture of rubber mulch and sand to get the right weight and the right kind of feel on your shoulder when you've got that sandbag going. So, I'm gonna zip this bad boy up. And I'm gonna show you a couple of my favorite quote-unquote sandbag moves. So, favorite move number 1 is probably about the easiest move to do with a sandbag, and it's basically a burden run or a burden carry. What you do there is you put the sandbag typically on your shoulder, but you could bear hug it, you can, I don't know what else you could do with it. Put it over 2 shoulders. In any case, you're getting the sandbag off the ground, and then you're going with it. It's as simple as that, and if it doesn't suck to do that, just keep going or move faster. So, if you want to take it from the ground, clean it up, boom, pop it over, and then you've got it over here, you got a couple of handles here, you got a couple of handles here, and just go. Boom, 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 boom. Let's pretend I did a mile. Woo! Oh, that mile was terrible. Yeah, bro, got my pump on. Anyways, stop laughing at me, Susie. So, now I want to show you so that's like my number 2 favorite sandbag move. My number 1 favorite sandbag move is one that I learned from the gang over at Atomic Athlete, and it's called a Sandbag Get Up. So a lot of people are familiar with Turkish Get-Ups, which is where you have a weight that you basically hold with one arm above your head and kind of you're down on the ground and then you get up and you stand up. Usually people do it with a kettlebell, sometimes they do it with a dumbbell. Sometimes if you're a real hoss, you do it with a human bound up around your hand. So what they do at Atomic, which is a movement that I believe they learned over at Military Athlete, is the Sandbag Get Up. So what you're going to do with the Sandbag Get Up is you're going to pick the sandbag up, flop it over one shoulder, and then you're going to crouch down, lean back, and just go back on the ground until your back and the sandbag touches the ground, and then you're going to stand up. That's all it is. Sandbag on a shoulder, lie down, stand back up. So one of the things that we do at Atomic is we do 100 of these for time. So I'm not going to do 100 of these for time right now, but these are terrible, soul-crushing exercises. They're totally awful, which is why I love them so much. Builds a lot of mental toughness, mental fortitude to do it over and over and over again. So a couple of finer points before I hop down and show you how to do it. So first of all, I like to go weak side first. So let's say you're going to do 20. If I'm going to do 20, I usually do at minimum 10, maybe 15, maybe even all 20 on my left side. I'm right-handed, so left side is the weak side. And that helps me build up so that I don't have, honestly at this point I don't really have a weak side for sandbag get-ups because I've done so many. But I would recommend starting on your weak side. That way when you're extremely fatigued, you can switch over to your strong side. So that's one thing. The other thing is, the key to not getting messed up in the brain, just mentally not losing your cool and getting demoralized during a sandbag get-up is the first turn. So if you're lying on your back on the ground and then you try to turn, let's imagine the sandbag's on my right shoulder here, you try to turn and move that center of gravity from the sandbag pinning you to the ground to over your midsection. If you miss that turn, the sandbag pins you back to the ground and all of a sudden life is terrible. So when you try again, you already know that you failed once and life is still terrible. So what I would say is put a lot of your thought and your mental energy to making that first turn and transferring the center of gravity from the sandbag pinning you down to over your midsection. And I'll do you a few reps here so that you guys can see how it goes. The other thing is, once you've got your center of gravity over your hips like it should be, then you just stand up. I know it sounds really easy, but that's actually the easiest part of a sandbag get-up is the actual standing up part. So remember, flip over. You can use a lot of body English. You can kick your legs out to help get some momentum to get that flip. It's still gonna make the exercise good. I've already lifted today, plus I actually have a job interview coming in later. So I'm only gonna do a few sandbag get-ups to show you, but this is an exercise that I love. I'm out here in the parking lot, so I'm gonna throw down this mat and go to town. So, do the sandbag get up. You stand over the sandbag, something like this. Go into a squat. Get that sandbag over one shoulder. You want part of that sandbag to be on your back, part of it to be on your front. Kind of suck, there's a lot of gravel down here. So, once you got it like this, I'm just gonna sit down and lie down and then stand back up. I'm on the ground. Boom, sandbag get up. So, watch as I swing my legs and then throw the sandbag from one side of my body over to the other side of the body. On the ground, kick the leg, make that transition. So right here, the center of gravity of the sandbag is now pushing down through my hips. Right here, the center of gravity of the sandbag is pushing down through my chest, trying to pin me to the ground. So, hips, ground. Hips, and at this point, all I need to do is stand up. So that's a sandbag get up. At Atomic, they program 40-pound sandbag get-ups for novice female trainees, 60-pound sandbag get-ups for conditioned females and novice male trainees, 80-pound sandbag get-ups for conditioned male trainees, or absolutely insane women, and then 100-pound sandbag get-ups for absolutely insane men. So, it's been Peter from Fringe Sport. Been sharing with you the OneFitWonder Sandbag Trainer and fillers, and also filling you in on a couple of my favorite exercises, the burden run and the sandbag get up. You can find these sandbags on our website, www.fringesport.com. They're really aggressively priced. Remember that we've got free shipping to the lower 48 United States on everything on the site. And if you like what we're doing, give us a like, tell a friend, sign up for our email newsletter. It helps me keep the lights on in there. Anyways, Peter from Fringe, ice.